Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to the latest edition of Off the Cuff here at Oswego City Hall. It's been another busy month, as I say every single month, but this month it's definitely true. We've made some important announcements that'll affect the community for quite a long time in the future, but also some fun announcements and some upcoming events that we can talk about today. So I want to first start off by starting with the ad campaign that I proposed earlier this month. This was a 2-year, $100,000 commitment to highlight and promote and develop an ad campaign that will give our city and community some exposure for the next 2 years. And this really started around the conversation of Micron coming to Central New York. I think with the potential influx of new residents to Central New York, it's important to share the story of Oswego with the Central New York region and get the attention of these new people moving in. I think living in Oswego, we've certainly seen the transformation over the last 5 to 7 years, but we need to share that story with the new residents and existing residents of Central New York and say, look, if you're new, this may be a place worth considering. And if you already live here in Central New York and you haven't been to Oswego in quite a few years, why don't you take a trip this summer and consider coming up and seeing all the new buildings, the new businesses, the new attractions that we have at Brightbeck Park and the Tiki Tours and so on and so forth. So luckily the council supported that 7-0. So the schedule is we'll go into production late spring and summer and get some great footage of the community and the community in action and some community events. And then we'll put that into digital form and begin the ad campaign probably late fall, and that'll run through the rest of 2023 and through the duration of 2024. So looking forward to that, and hopefully that'll be a smart return on investment driven project that will result in people coming and moving into Oswego. So I appreciate the council's support there, and you should look around for maybe a camera crew or two here throughout the summer. So really looking forward to getting that off the ground. Earlier this month, we announced a new text messaging system called Power Engage, and this will run through the Oswego Police Department. It's really a project that we hope will improve the quality and the service and the support that people receive from the Oswego Police Department. What'll happen is if you make a call to the police department or through 911 and we get your information, we can send you a text message. It's totally voluntary, so if you don't want the text message, you just hit stop and you're permanently opt out of the program. But what we'll do is we'll send you a follow-up service survey, and you can detail the service you received and the quality you received from the Oswego Police Department, and let us know how we can improve, do better, if the service was sufficient, and actually rate the police department based on your interaction. So this is really just a branch off of our Reimagining Police campaign that we did in late 2020, 2021. And this is just another way that we can gauge our police department and to better serve the public. So we're really excited for that to lift off here in the next couple of weeks. I announced earlier this month we're doing the Easter Bunny drive-by. That'll be the first Sunday in April. So I encourage you to check out my Facebook page or check out the previous news article and try to find the route. And if you're on the route, similar to what we do with the Santa Slow Roll, feel free to step outside, say hello to the Easter Bunny as they pass through the neighborhood and get the kids some free candy. That's turned into a real popular event lately as well. Speaking of popular events, the 4th of July Independence Day celebration here in Oswego is always a very special day. It's only gotten bigger as we added the downtown block party. So I'm pleased to let you know that this year, I believe it's Sunday, July 2nd, but it's whatever the Sunday is before July 4th, will be parade day here in Oswego. The parade starts at 1 o'clock and goes the usual route down Utica to 104, down 104 and ends over by Fort Ontario. So that parade will start at 1, generally last till about 2:30, 3 o'clock. And then the downtown block party, we've moved up the start time. We'll actually start at 2 p.m. rather than 5 p.m. We're going to have a ton of vendors. The restaurants will come out and bring their dining areas outdoors. and then a ton of free children events in Civic Plaza and throughout downtown for you to enjoy. We have some new additions this year that will be a surprise when you show up, and something I think the kids will really enjoy. And then we're having a band perform downtown on the stage. The music will start around 5 and take us to the fireworks at 9:45 with the fireworks over the river. So I think it'll be a great event, as it was the last couple of years, and we've seen the crowds get bigger each and every year. I expect the same thing to happen this year, and encourage you to come check it out if you haven't already. Also, we announced earlier this month that I'm appointing Tim Kerwin as the next city court judge here in Oswego. It's a really unique opportunity for the mayor to be able to appoint the city court judge. Traditionally, the way city government's set up is the city court judge is elected, the assistant city court judge is appointed by the mayor. However, Judge Metcalf, after I think over 20 or 30 years of service, is retiring at the end of April. And because that's in the middle of his term, the mayor gets the opportunity to appoint the city court judge. So I've announced that I'm appointing Tim Kerwin as the next city court judge. He's been a longtime attorney here in Oswego. He's president of Little League, former president of the Hibernians, very active in the community, a very fair lawyer, and a real decent guy. So when the choice came up, he was the natural choice, and luckily he accepted. So I congratulate him and really look forward to him taking the bench. It's already starting a smooth transition with Judge Metcalf, so I appreciate his support there. And then, just to be clear, Mr. Kerwin's appointment that I'm giving will last through the end of the year. However, this summer he will have to campaign and be on the ballot and go through an election come November. So he will ultimately have to be elected. My appointment's good through the end of the year. So either way, happy to have him on the bench for at least some period of time, and certainly wish him all the best through the rest of the year. And then finally, I just want to give a huge kudos to the Oswego Fire Department. We had a large downtown fire at the Raven Bar, and the buildings are connected there, so it damaged some other buildings as well, some water damage, smoke damage. But the fire happened in the middle of the night. I got the call at about 4:30 in the morning, and the fire department was already on scene then. And this was a fire that, when the fire department first arrived on scene, should have spread to many other buildings and should have probably done damage to the entire block of property between, I think it's West 2nd to West 3rd, or West 3rd to West 4th, I can't remember exactly, but it should have been much, much worse than it was. And the reason why it became so contained and didn't turn out to be worse than it was is because of the skill of the Oswego Fire Department, their swift response. They immediately got to work on containing the fire, and also the technology that we've invested in recent years. They used, believe it or not, drones to fight the fire, where they would send the drones up to see the hot spots. Because the fire was in the back of the building and the buildings are all connected, they couldn't access the area, and you really couldn't even see the fire at one point from the street. So they were able to send drones up that have the thermal technology, and they could see the hot spots and where the heat was from the fire, and able to direct water there. And that really is the only reason we were able to contain the fire, make sure everyone was out safe, and protect the neighboring buildings. So we're working with the property owner now to determine if a demo or a rehab is possible. We're obviously pushing for rehab to preserve the city block, but that's an ongoing discussion. But just a huge kudos to OFD for their efforts and their response to that, and also other city departments. It was a great response by Oswego Police Department, Department of Public Works, the Engineering Department, and Code Enforcement as well. So a true team effort, and I appreciate the support. It certainly makes all the training that those departments go through on a weekly basis worth it. So I'd like to thank everybody for tuning in. Next month, we already have some big announcements in store, so I look forward to sharing those with you when you tune in next time. So thanks for tuning in this time. Look forward to talking to you in the future.